Okay, so tonight it's all about Italy, Tuscany, Rome, Florence, 8 days with, let's see, Andrea with rockandglutenfree.com. She went on a tour, a gluten-free tour of Italy. How cool is that? We're talking to her tonight. Stay tuned. Welcome to the GFree and Happy show that happens every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Kathy, and I have been GFree and Happy for 4 years and counting. This is a big night for me because Italy is actually a dream destination that I want to go to. So I have a lot of questions for Andrea, but also November is a big month for me because this is my year anniversary month. I've been doing this for 1 year now, and Andrea will be my first guest of the month to celebrate. And what a great show. She went to Italy just last month. She went on a gluten-free tour. She took her mom and she went with a bunch of fun ladies. They ate, they drank, they had a great time, and she's here to share it tonight. All of it. 8 days of fun, food, and wine. So we'll be talking to Andrea with rockandglutenfree.com in just a few minutes. But first, episode 47 of the GFree and Happy show is brought to you by Oval-i TV. Oval-i TV believes in building community through shared experiences. We produce professional live webcasts that bring tribes together. Visit Oval-i TV today. So we're going to bring on Andrea because we have so much to talk, 8 days worth of photos and everything. So we're going to get her on right now. Hello. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Kathy.
So nice to have you on tonight. Thank you for being my first guest of my month-long anniversary.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So it was really funny. We were talking. You were watching my show one time, and somebody mentioned you have to have Andrea on. It's like, okay. So I contacted you, and you said, well, I'm going to Italy. Sorry, I can't do it. It's like, hello, that's my show. You're talking about Italy with me. So she came back. She had a great time. And let's talk about you first and then get into to your tour.
Oh, sure. Well, I was diagnosed 3.5 years ago with gluten intolerance, and 2 years ago joined a program with Institute for Integrative Nutrition and decided to become a certified health coach. So I wanted to help others who also needed to go gluten-free. So that's pretty much what I do. Is I'm a health coach, and then I have my blog, Rock and Gluten Free. So that's what I'm doing right now. I also write for Examiner.com. I'm the Chicago Gluten-Free Food Examiner. So I do product reviews, restaurant reviews, kind of talk about things around Chicago that are gluten-free. So it's pretty much my passion just to kind of, I kind of dove into the whole gluten-free world after my diagnosis.
Yeah, I think we all kind of dive in to see who else is around and get more information. And there's a lot out there. So why don't you tell us first, how did you get started with this tour, this gluten-free tour that you took?
Well, to travel with a food sensitivity, it's pretty nerve-wracking. Yeah, it's very scary. And Italy's a place, I'm actually part Italian. I don't know if you can tell, blonde hair. But
nice.
My great-grandfather came from Rome, I found out, and I have an uncle who came from Florence. So it's just a place I've been wanting to go for a really long time, and this opportunity came up. I found out about it through Kelly from Celiac Chicks. She has a great blog, and one day, I get her newsletter sent to me and blog posts, and she mentioned going to Tuscany, a gluten-free tour in Tuscany, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is it, because just to do that just seemed like a dream. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this. And I'm recently single and thought, okay, I'll just go by myself. I'll meet great people and I'll have a great time. And my mom, I was talking to her about it after I made this decision, and she says, you know what, I'm going to go with you. And she's not gluten-free. I said, can you endure a week of gluten-free food? And I was teasing her, but I said, don't worry, it's all going to be fantastic food, I'm sure. And she said, oh yeah, I'll be fine. It's Italy. I'll be fine. So I was just thrilled that she agreed to join me. So
well, thrilled, and hello, I bet she was very thrilled that you're going to ask her to go. What a special treat too. So real fast, Jen's husband's in Chicago right now on a business trip, and he was wondering about and thinking if he would find any healthy food in Chicago around his hotel room, because it's mainly Philly cheese dogs and all that good stuff. So happy to hear it. Yes. But back to the tour. So you and your mom are going on your trip. And you're going with how many people are on this tour?
There was about, I believe, 20 of us, roughly. Whoa. 20 of us. It was all women, and we did have one gentleman. There was one lovely couple. They were celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary and her birthday. So I was, he was the sole male of the group, but he was really great. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was, various ages, and, we actually had somebody from Australia that came out. So it was just really cool to, literally people from all over the place. And we just, we have the commonality of the food sensitivity. There were some people that weren't gluten-free. They, just accompanied their friend or family member, but everybody made the best of it. So it was really cool.
Okay, so the first day you go to, how do you pronounce that?
Yeah, I finally figured it out towards the end of the tour. It's because it looks like fig line. It's Figlini Valdarno.
Ooh, and now tell us all about it. This is the first time you all get together?
Yes. So we arrived on a Saturday. It was Saturday, October 12th. And so we all arrived in the afternoon and pretty much just got accustomed to the hotel and
kind of met each other too.
Yeah, we actually met somebody. We met some ladies. Actually, my mom met some of the ladies on the plane from Rome to Florence. It's kind of a funny story. She just happened to randomly mention where she was going, and they, oh wait, we are too. So, and it was funny. I could actually hear they were a couple rows behind me. I was separated from her, and I could hear her talking, about the tour and my daughter Andrea up there, and so we get off the plane. I'm like, yeah, I hear you've already met people from the tour. It was kind of funny, but it was cool. And so we just met up with some other people, and the shuttle driver met us all at the airport in Florence.
Sounds nice so far.
Yeah. So we, kind of met some people already, going to the hotel, and had lunch with one of them. I couldn't wait to, we had steak and Chianti, and I was all excited. So it was very lovely. And I want to talk to you about the food here while we start with the first day. And by the way, what's the name of your tour? It was just the gluten-free Tuscany tour.
All right, I want to go. So you said it's meat, and what was the other thing you ate with the steak and wine? Basically? Oh yeah, so we had I was drooling. The wine, the hotel actually had their own wine. So we saw somebody else was eating steak and Chianti, having Chianti. Okay, that's what I want. So. We were just really hungry at that point. It was really looking delicious. And how was the steak?
It was really good. The hotel food was excellent, actually, and we actually had a welcome dinner. And what was cool about that is they showed us this private room. I think I took pictures of it, and they said, "This is your private room for the week." Oh, so that was super cool. So we had our own special room and our own wait staff, and it was really great. So that's where we had the first night was getting acquainted with everybody, got to meet everybody, and we had our welcome dinner. So that was really good.
Well, and most of the time when you think of Italy too, when you're going there, you're thinking of pasta and breads, and and you always see in those movies too that they're eating lots of bread. They're fueling their walks or their tours or whatever, and it's like, would I survive here? But the first night you're having steak and wine, and yeah, I could do well with that. So,
yeah, I had steak for lunch and chicken for dinner. So yeah, I was doing okay. It wasn't too carb laden yet, but
not
yeah.
yet. So let's go into day two. Day
Okay.
two is, can I pronounce that one? The Chianti.
Chianti, yeah.
Chianti
Yeah,
region.
I had my Chianti and Chianti. Yeah, that was my.
So
my
basically wine every day and wine country. All right. So
Right.
what'd you do in day two?
So that was fun. We actually had a tour guide, I believe. I'm probably going to butcher names here, so I apologize. But I think her name was Cosetta, and she met us. We had our tour bus picked us up, and we went to do a salumi and wine tasting. Now, at first, I thought it was salami and wine and cheese. And I thought, okay, that's cool, salami and cheese. But it's actually salumi, and I found out salumi means the cold meats. So it's your different kinds of cold meats.
There is a platter picture if we can get it up there. We're showing the picture of the winery with the big, huge, I'm guessing oak barrels.
Oh, that was later on.
Okay.
It's actually in the hotel.
Oh, that's right, because the
Oh, yeah.
hotel does wine.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
so
pretty cool.
far I'm loving this trip of wine and food.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here's the salumi. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, salumi. Yeah,
Salumi. And I see bread on the table or a roll. Is that gluten free or is that for
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the? Really?
that was all gluten free. Yep.
So far, so good. Did they pay attention to sensitivities to sulfites in the wines at all?
That wasn't really brought up. I think we were kind of, yeah.
Gluten free, and you're dairy free. So, was there any other allergies, by the way?
Yeah, I'm dairy free, but I'm dairy free to an extent. I can actually tolerate cheese. Okay, I just have to watch anything with
Yeah, that
milk
would
in
be
it.
sad. Okay, all right.
So that was good because there was a salumi and cheese tasting, so I was able to tolerate the cheese. And I think at some points I was able to have goat cheese. I actually do better with goat cheese than cheese from a cow, but it was really nice because they actually set all the places for us, and we had quite a bit of food for the tasting, and that wasn't even our lunch for the day. So
That was just a tasting with your wine.
that's right.
Was there cross-contamination fear ever during this tour?
Not that, no, I actually have an interesting story about that too, because when we were in Siena, my mom and I were actually on our own for lunch one day, and my mom's mission mainly was shopping, and I was also looking for souvenirs too, so we kind of killed most of that free time shopping, which was fun. We had a blast. But we went into this one shop, and it was kind of like there was part deli, like cold stuff, cold salads, and then there was like a warm section where they had like meat and potatoes, and it looked really good. And I thought, well, I could do roasted potatoes and meat. That's naturally gluten free. This should be a no-brainer. So I, asked the woman behind the counter, because senza gluten means gluten free. And so I'm trying to communicate with her that I wanted a gluten-free meal, and right away she goes in English, says, no, there's a risk of cross-contamination here. You don't want to eat here. And okay, that's all I need to know. We're out of here.
That's very interesting that she said that too. And in the case, and that's usually the case. Usually the case that, in a like a setting where there's a bunch of food, it could have the cross-contamination. Okay, so Joanne was saying sulfites are not added to wines in Europe, and I had forgot about that, so thank you for that. They're only naturally occurring sulfites, so that is a very good point. Do most restaurants offer a gluten-free option when it comes to pasta or breads, or was that the specialty kind of prepared for your tour?
Yes, some of the restaurants were already planned in advance. But it seemed like it wasn't too hard to find places that offered gluten-free pasta. So there
Good
were
to know.
days when we had free days, and it wasn't too hard, I was able to look up restaurants and reviews and all that. So it wasn't too hard. But yeah, these were all mostly planned in advance, and it wasn't too hard at all. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Nice to hear that too. Okay, so back to day 2. I want to talk to you about your dessert that night, because they were offering something other than what you can, kind of a dairy thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did the waiter, they seem like they're very good about serving whatever you can have.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what'd you get?
Yeah, that was, I forgot to mention too, with the salumi tasting. Yeah, we had this, I don't know if you got the picture, the server was very interesting.
Oh, yeah, we do.
The bird's nest hair, yeah.
Oh. No, we have so many photos to show you tonight that going back to them might be a problem.
One of our highlights. Actually, okay, so yeah, so that dinner that night, yeah, that was fun because I'm trying to think what exactly, I've got my notes here.
You had the peaches.
Oh yeah, that was the peaches. Yeah, and there was no way. I thought, oh, I don't want to risk that one at all. So what was cool was, and we had kind of the same wait staff, so they got kind of accustomed to us. But this was only night 2, and he's, oh, I'll be right back. So he comes back with just a fruit cup, but he pours champagne into it, and then he leaves me the bottle. I'm like, oh, sweet, I love it.
I like that dessert a lot.
I'm like, yeah.
So was that Italian champagne too, like Prosecco kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
It sounds good already. Peach and that combined. Okay, mouth is watering. Let's go to day 3. I don't know if I can get through this night here in this show. Okay, so day 3. Tell me about day 3.
That was our first, that was our longer free day. So we went with, I'd say roughly half the group decided to go. It was kind of on a whim. My mom and I decided to join them because we weren't really sure exactly what we were doing yet. And there, half the group at breakfast said, oh, we're going to Cortona. And that's where Under the Tuscan Sun was filmed.
Oh,
so nice. I said, okay, let's go. Let's do this. So we, had an interesting, they like to change the platforms on the train. So we kind of played musical platforms.
Oh.
That was interesting.
Good to know. Scary.
Yeah, just when you think you're on the right platform, twice they changed it. It was kind of funny. So, you just roll with it. And so we took the local train to Cortona, and that was interesting too because we were kind of walking up a steep hill. So
more wine for you later.
We actually, the group, we actually, my mom was having a little back pain that day. So I said, let's just go shopping. So she was all over that one. And the group actually ventured on. They said, good thing you didn't, because that was a pretty brutal hill. So there's a lot of hills, and you get your workout there for sure. So so I was able to tap into Wi-Fi and find this really good restaurant. And I believe the owner said her daughter had celiac, and it was highly recommended. And I had a really good, they called it like a macaroni and cheese type, but it was more like a macaroni and like meat sauce. But the way I think it was our grandma's macaroni and meat sauce.
So how was the Wi-Fi in those areas? I mean, were you able to do a little research if you had to? Because I depend on those things when you're in a different place.
Yeah, I was able to pass by. I don't know if it was either, I think it was a restaurant. Yeah, it was either a coffee shop or restaurant, but I was able to tap in. And what I usually do is, because here I use an app in the U.S., Find Me Gluten Free, but out there I just put in the name of the town and gluten free, and up popped, I think it was TripAdvisor. Okay. And that's where I was able to find the name of the
So
restaurant.
what'd you eat there?
So that's when I had, it was like this macaroni. They called it macaroni. It just was a fancy name for their pasta. They were
meat sauce. Oh, but gluten free and then meat sauce.
Yeah.
With
so that
wine?
was really good. And Yeah. So, and then, yeah, I believe I'm sure I had wine with it. I was looking through my pictures. I'm like, is there a picture with me not holding a
With
glass? Uh, so that was actually really good. So that was, I really liked that. And they were so friendly, so accommodating. And, um, yeah, they brought out some kind of, it was the bread though. I don't know if I'd give the bread a recommendation. It seemed like more like a flattened rice cake. So that probably wasn't one of the bread highlights on the
No,
trip.
probably not. And sometimes gluten bread does that. So
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. This was your first time to have limoncello. Was it really? I mean, hello.
Oh, that was that night. Yeah, that was that night because we went. We had to come back. We had a tour of the hotel. Actually, had a museum. It was like part palace. It
I
was. I
think
think.
we all need to stay at this Hotel Via Casa Grande. Is that how you
Yeah.
say it?
Yeah. It was. Our area was charming. And we had a nice view of a courtyard and back. And but I didn't realize that part of the hotel had a museum. So they said all of a sudden, we're going on this tour of the hotel. Okay, so that was interesting. The furniture and the artwork, and I think we even saw a knight in shining armor.
Oh yeah, there. Oh, do I have that picture? I think I do, but I didn't. Anyways, there is a picture of Andrea with the knight. So tell us quickly, because I didn't realize how this is going by too fast. Tell us about this dinner you had that had pork loin with apples. Tell us what that was.
Yeah, so yeah, we had a quick wine tasting there, and then we went to
At the
they have the wine. They had a wine cellar, and that's where the big oak barrels. And so we left there and went into town, and it was actually La Amici Mia, I believe was the name of the restaurant. And the owner opened it specially for us. He's normally closed on Monday nights. And so we get there, and he's welcoming us with Prosecco. I'm like, I like this guy already. And
I
appetizers.
like it too.
They had a really cool bar area in the front, so we did that at first, and then he comes out with we had pasta, and then it was pork loin. Yeah, they're really good. Lots of good. There was one thing I really didn't know how to pronounce. That I was looking at trying to figure out how to pronounce this. Some kind of baked. Fried aubergines? I don't know.
Aubergines?
Yeah.
Try and figure that out and let me know, because I've never heard of that.
It was baked with cheese. It was really good.
And you had sautéed spinach? And chard?
Yes.
Okay, so wait. Now, what's this dessert you had too?
Well, most people had the creme brulee.
Oh, that did look good. And we do have a picture of that.
Looked fantastic.
Joanne said this was a 7-course dinner you had.
Yeah, there were a lot of courses.
Yeah, there it is.
I don't know if does the limoncello count as a course?
In my book, it does.
So when Bob, well, his name's Roberto, and I guess they call him Bubbe or Bob. He was a riot. He found out I couldn't have that, so he got me a vegan cake. He brought me out a vegan cake with strawberries on top. So
he just had laying around, probably. I mean, that's nice.
It was good, and so then because the limoncello was on him later. He was very gracious and wanted us to come back. So I want to
go now.
Yeah, that was we tried to go back there for lunch on our next free day, and at 2:00 in the afternoon, the place is like a ghost town.
So is that what happens during the day? It's like dead?
They closed down for a couple hours, so our timing was a little bit off. We got a little delayed. We were just kind of having a chill day. We just needed a down day, and I had an unexpected frenzy in the pharmacia with the gluten-free room, and had to make some purchases.
Found out
about that. I think I showed you that one picture where I kind of went, it was.
Yeah, there is a picture of that, but I forgot to label it. So there are other pictures you need to just kind of start showing too. Joanne says, I think the limoncello was course 12. And we're showing the picture of your mom with serenading. They serenaded the tour too as they ate dinner.
That was in Rome. Yeah.
In Rome. Hello. Gosh, how nice.
That was in Rome. That was our after party after we left the tour.
Oh, and then okay, so we're showing the picture of the pork heads or the pig heads, and so was this like on the street kind of thing?
Oh, that was in Florence. We were taken through the Central Market, and I was just admiring some of the produce and the meats, and like, oh, you don't see that every day.
The olives.
The pig heads. Yeah, I'm an olive freak, so yeah, I had to get the olives.
Olives and the olive oils. Could you imagine what the olive oils are like there too?
I even got I don't know if you saw the picture. I got a picture. There was a whole bunch of limoncello bottles.
No, I didn't see that one. I would have put that one on.
It was in the shape of a violin. So I kind of zoomed in. I'm like, that's kind of cool. It's kind of goes with the rock and gluten-free theme.
Yes. I think so. It should be your logo now. Okay, so we need to get day 4, Florence. You're talking about it. What'd you eat for dinner that night?
Oh, that was so much fun. We went to a restaurant called Ciro and Sons, and we had gnocchi. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Good enough. I think it is. Yeah.
And steak Florentine. That was really good too. And then I was surprised because for dessert they were coming out with creme brulee, but they were able to give me a dairy-free creme brulee. So that was a bonus.
That's very nice.
That was really nice. And yeah, that was that was a fun evening. Yeah, we spotted some interesting jewelry on a gentleman there, and yeah, it was
so interesting people. Yesenia's asking, what is your favorite meal that was G-free and surprised your taste buds? That's a good question. So what would it be? So
much good. The one meal that really stood out was the gnocchi I had in Rome.
I bet it was just perfect. That's one thing you never get here in the States. At least I haven't found one that's gluten-free. Oh, I bet it was really good.
Yeah, that blew Ciro and Sons gnocchi away. So that restaurant was, it was just we just happened to ask the hotel front desk clerk, right after we got to Rome where we could go, and it was within walking distance, and I wasn't really expecting a lot. This was just something they recommended and didn't know what to expect. And then, every bite I was just like, wow, this is incredible. Yeah. And
it's really nice because I always thought I wouldn't be able to eat much there. And it turns out that we're going to eat very well. Mm-hmm. All right. So, day 5, it's your free day, but you're doing the cooking class. We got to get this in before we stop. Tell us about this gluten-free cooking class you took, and what city was it in, or the town?
That was the day we had the chill day at Fidlini Valdarno, and that's when we had to quickly find somewhere to eat for lunch, and I ended up with meat and cheese again. That was kind of my staple, I think.
At least you could eat well.
Yeah, and it was funny because they even asked if I spoke Italian. Somehow I was able to start communicating with them very well. But so we had 2 chefs. We had Paola, I don't know if I'm butchering her name, and Daniela. And Paola didn't speak any English, so Daniela was the translator chef. And they were a riot. And so that was, they pretty much walked through what we were supposed to be doing, and it was just, the food was fabulous though, and that I think was another highlight of the trip. Was we had like fried artichokes and just the fried, the breadcrumbs they were using, and just the fried stuff. Oh my gosh, everybody, they saw the pictures and they're like, my mouth's watering again looking at this. That was really yummy, but it was good. It was, I think, a good bonding moment. I think it was one of my
your favorite moments,
highlights of the trip.
Did you have to schedule that ahead of time too, for before you got there?
Yeah, that was actually arranged for us.
And how do you find a cooking class? I mean, so is this tour saying, okay, here's some options you could do? You could do a cooking class, you could do shopping. Tell me a little bit about that so we kind of know how to do this.
What's interesting is I did some research and digging kind of after the fact. Just to know more about the areas we were in. And what's interesting is this hotel offered this cooking class. So if you research the hotel on
I want to
TripAdvisor,
go to this
there's
hotel.
others that they talk about the cooking class. So I thought that was kind of cool. And what was neat was it was in like an apartment inside the hotel.
Huh.
So we had like a full kitchen, a really fancy bathroom, nice dining room. So that part was really neat. So yeah, but I believe that this is something that they do on a regular basis at this hotel. So that was
Say that hotel one more time because we all need to check it out.
a Villa Casa Grande.
Okay, thank you. Did you steal any recipes from your travels here? Are you a big cook for this stuff, or you just mainly like to go in and eat it?
Yeah, that's more. I kind of wing it when it comes to. I made a pretty mean lasagna back in my glutinous days, but.
So you enjoy the restaurants, and we're asking in the chat, what's the name of that hotel? One more time, say it slowly.
It's the Villa Casa Grande. It's Casagrande.
And what town is it in?
And that's in Fellini, Valdarno, but it's spelled like fig line, Figline, and then Valdarno, Valdarno.
Oh, my place. I'm going to.
And what's super cool, I found this out. I have to tell you this because this is super cool. And we weren't able to actually find his house, but Sting owns a house in that town. I found out. And I'm a humongous Sting fan. I actually followed the Police when they were on their reunion tour. And one of my, fan club mates, I guess you could call it, mentioned that Sting had a house in Tuscany. So I just happened to be researching. This is probably a week before we took off to go there, and I found out his house was in Fellini, Valdarno, and I just about freaked out and called my mom. I said, "We're going on a Sting hunt. And we got
a Sting hunt." And you followed all the steps that he's taken in Tuscany to check out. Did you find his house? You said you didn't.
No. I did, yeah. I mentioned to people that, I think his house is somewhere around here, and I think it was kind of on the outskirts of town. But what's interesting is he has a organic produce store, supposedly. He offers wine and honey and...
Maybe he was sitting there waiting for you. Did you go there?
Well, I have friends that have met him. I guess he was in New York right before we left, and they found out already for me that he was staying in New York City through early November. I believe his wife was in a play, so there was no chance he was going to be there. I had it all scoped out, and my boyfriend was actually relieved because he's like, I don't want to hear reports of you getting arrested, stalking Sting,
You got to do something though when you're in Italy,
Yeah, exactly. You gotta live on the edge a little bit. So, yeah. But it was good to know. I believe I think one of the hotels I was reading the reviews, one of the hotels in Fellini is actually right next to his house.
Well, okay, so start Googling this to see Sting in action in Italy. So Joanne's saying there is a book called, she thinks, Eating Gluten-Free in Italy. Hey, that's great. I didn't know that either. Did you guys check that out before you went, or?
No, I just kind of did a little bit of internet research.
Okay. And that's good too. We gotta wrap it up. You said the best meal was gnocchi. What about the gelato, real fast? Because we did not mention that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the one day when we couldn't, when the woman went on about the cross contamination, we had gelato for lunch.
And what better thing?
It was gluten-free, dairy-free.
We're showing it now.
Chocolate and delicious, and it's a chain place called Grom. So
is it everywhere? I mean, is it in the U.S.? I
think possibly. I thought I saw them might be in California. I'd have to, I was going to look into that. But, yeah, that gelato blew away the one that I had in town the one day. So
I bet, and that was dairy-free too. Amazing.
Yeah, because I was able to find one in town. They did like a hazelnut vanilla mix for me.
But no. Not like
it's
the
nothing
chocolate.
Beats chocolate. No, yeah. And it's the little chocolate chunks, and it was just delightful.
Okay, we gotta stop. Can't stand it anymore. Oh, that was good stuff. Tell us where we can find you. And so you're going to posting more stuff about your tour. And let's hear about where we can find more about your tour.
Oh, sure. Sure. I will be doing a blog post soon on my blog, which is rockandglutenfree.com.
Very good. And you're on Twitter?
Yes, I'm Rockin' GF Gal on Twitter.
And she's on there all the time, so everybody check her out. You're so much fun. I have to have you back, Andrea. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, now I need to go to Italy.
For sure.
All right, thanks again. Well, tonight was a dream come true to at least listen to what some Italy stuff is all about, and I will be going with my husband to Italy in the near future. Until next week, check out GFreeandHappy.com, and I'll be seeing you Monday. I think it's November 11th. Until then, have a great G-Free and Happy week.